There's something steady in tonight's reading, even as tension rises around Stephen. And alongside it, Bishop Fulton Sheen offers a direct reminder about the responsibility of doing good. In our Monday evening reflection from the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 6, Stephen is described in a way that almost stops us in our tracks. Stephen, filled with grace and power, was working great wonders and signs among the people. There's no sense of hesitation in him, no uncertainty about who he belongs to or what he's been given to do. He simply lives it out, openly and faithfully. But almost immediately, resistance follows. People begin to argue with him, debate him, challenge him. And the reading tells us something important. They could not withstand the wisdom and the spirit with which he spoke. It wasn't just that Stephen was clever or persuasive. Something deeper was at work in him, something that couldn't be overcome by argument alone. And instead of stepping back, those who opposed him escalated things. They stirred up others, twisted his words, and brought forward false witnesses. The situation moves quickly from disagreement to accusation, from tension to hostility. Suddenly, Stephen is standing before the Sanhedrin, surrounded by people who are not seeking the truth, but trying to condemn him. There's a familiar pattern here. Truth isn't always rejected outright, but it is often resisted, reframed, or quietly pushed aside when it becomes uncomfortable. Sometimes it's easier to question the messenger than to face what's being said. And yet in the middle of all of this, there's one small but striking detail. All those who sat in the Sanhedrin looked intently at him and saw that his face was like the face of an angel. In the midst of the accusation and pressure, Stephen is not defensive, not agitated, not overwhelmed. He carries a kind of peace that doesn't come from the situation, but from his union with God. This matters because most of us won't stand before a council like Stephen did, but we do find ourselves in smaller moments where our faith is tested, when it's misunderstood, dismissed, or quietly opposed. Maybe it's in a conversation. Maybe it's in a decision we make when no one else is paying attention, or in the simple act of remaining faithful when it would be easier to drift. Psalm 119 echoes that same interior posture. Though princes meet and talk against me, your servant meditates on your statutes. Yes, your decrees are my delight. They are my counselors. These words feel deeply grounded. The world around may be unsettled, but the heart that returns to God's law finds direction. And again, remove from me the way of falsehood, and favor me with your law. The way of truth I have chosen. That choice, quiet, deliberate, repeated, is what we see in Stephen. Not a dramatic gesture, but a steady alignment. Not a single moment of courage, but a life shaped by truth. So tonight, we're not being asked to imagine ourselves in Stephen's exact place, but we are invited to look at the same interior question. Where do I stand when things become difficult? Where do I turn when I feel pressure to compromise, to stay silent, or to step back? The invitation is clear. It's not about winning arguments or proving something to others. It's about remaining rooted, letting God's truth be our reference point, our counselor, our quiet strength, even when it's not understood, even when it's not welcomed. There's a reassurance here too. Stephen didn't manufacture that peace on his own. It came from being filled with grace and power. It came from staying close to God, from allowing the Spirit to work within him over time. That same grace is not reserved for a few. It's given to us day by day, in ordinary ways, especially when we keep turning back after we've struggled or faltered. So as this day comes to a close, maybe it's enough to quietly place ourselves in that posture of trust, to choose truth again, and let God steady what feels unsettled. Hello friends, it's Aaron. Welcome to the Sacred Heart family, where we pray together, walk with the saints, and reflect on the gospel every day. If this reflection brings you peace, please like and subscribe. As we prepare our hearts for rest, we now turn to the wisdom of Bishop Fulton Sheen. The greatest inhumanity that can be ascribed to men is having an opportunity for doing good to others and doing nothing. The serious sin is not always one of commission, but omission. We often think of sin in terms of what we've done wrong, words we've said, actions we regret. But Sheen shifts our attention to something we can easily overlook: the good we could have done, but didn't. It connects directly to what we saw in Stephen. He didn't hold back what had been given to him. He didn't keep his faith private when it could serve others. He didn't step aside when the moment called for witness. He acted simply and faithfully, even when it cost him everything. For us, the opportunities are usually much smaller, but they are real. A kind word we almost said but held back. A moment to help someone that we passed by because we were busy. A chance to encourage, to forgive, to listen, and we let it slip. Why does that happen? Sometimes it's not resistance or hardness of heart. Sometimes it's just distraction. We move quickly, we stay occupied, our lives are busy. We tell ourselves we'll get to it later. And yet these quiet opportunities are often where love is meant to take shape. Sheen isn't trying to burden us here. He's reminding us that goodness isn't abstract. It's concrete, immediate, and often simple. It shows up in what we choose to do with the opportunities right in front of us. Because every day carries these quiet invitations, not grand gestures or dramatic sacrifices, but simple acts of attention and care that reflect something deeper within us. And over time, those choices begin to form the kind of person we become. So tonight, as we look back on the day, there's no need to be harsh or discouraged, but it might be worth gently asking, where was I given the chance to do good? Where did I respond? And where did I hesitate? Not to dwell on it, but simply to notice. Because tomorrow will bring new moments, new chances to respond differently, to be a little more attentive, a little more willing. And the grace that helped Stephen stand firm is the same grace that helps us start taking those small steps forward. I invite you to share your intentions in the comments of the video so that the Sacred Heart family may walk with you in faith and charity. Please join me in our Catholic evening prayers, uniting our hearts with the Church's April devotion to the Holy Eucharist. Click the link in the pinned comment now, and I'll see you there. I'd like to invite everybody to start visiting the website, sacredheartpreciousblood.com. The homepage is designed as a prayer hub, with everything in one easy-to-use place. God bless.